Steve Georgie with Allendale Incorporated, our guest today. Steve, we should be getting kind of an update on the winter wheat crop and how it's doing condition-wise here pretty soon. But overall, the wheat market has been dynamic over the last month or two.
Dan, dynamic is a great word because we've seen the emotion go into the market, come out of the market. And so this emotion is going to be very, very important. And so when you look at this and you say, okay, this winter wheat crop going into dormancy at some of the lowest levels that we've seen, are we going to see the rains? Spring rains make that wheat. Not so much what the dormancy numbers are, it's do we get these spring rains? But not only that, when you're talking 600 million carry out for wheat, we're still not tight. And as we continue to lose sales or we don't see sales, China has been a big portion of that, but we've not seen it. And so it's something that we need to kind of keep an eye on. When you look at winter wheat, we know how tight that crop was this year, but winter wheat right here around this $10 area, it is appropriately priced. So what happens? You've got emotion right now in KC wheat and also Chicago wheat, but you don't have the emotion in Minneapolis, and that's where it probably ought to be. So continue to watch that. If there is explosiveness, maybe that'll be more in the Minneapolis side versus KC, but we've got to see spring rains. That will make a difference for this wheat crop as we come out of dormancy. That's what's going to make these yields, and so we need to be careful on that.
You know, we obviously track the Black Sea region and Australia pretty closely. Those countries seem to be having some hiccups of their own, which may be part of the reason we're seeing some of these price moves in wheat.
Yeah. You know, and those are headline stories, right? As they come across the newswire, the markets just go, and it's fast, and it's react. But we have not seen it. In order to really kind of figure out what's going on there, right? If we're going to talk about Russia, how many times have we seen Russia say something, and then all of a sudden we see it change? But what it has to be is got to be figured into the demand side of things, and we've got to see our demand start to pick up here domestically. That is going to spark a fire underneath this wheat market if that happens. We do have tighter stocks for corn. We've seen some tighter stocks for beans. We really haven't seen that for wheat yet, but it will have to be led by demand. And so a lot of these stories that you're getting out of this Black Sea region, what is Russia doing? How does Ukraine look? What's going on with French milling wheat, right? And you hear these things. We do need to be very cognizant of what it's being said, but it does need to be led by demand. We need to start seeing some of these export sales and get our sales back, and that will spark some fire underneath this wheat market.
All right. Appreciate the insights as always, Steve. Thank you so much for being here. We'll be back with more Ag Day and to check your weather coming up next.
To talk to Steve Georgie one-on-one, call Allendale Incorporated at 800-262-7538 or head online to allendale-inc.com.